So, episode 19 of Dragon Ball Daima was fantastic. That transformation sequence at the end is possibly the best transformation sequence I've ever seen in all of Dragon Ball. Now, I'm going to exclude transformations when we see them for the first time because Goku went from Super Saiyan 1, 2 to 3 to 4, Super Saiyan 4 in a sequence of transformations. And obviously we've seen Super Saiyan 4 basically, well, last week when he did it in his kid state. But this was utterly brilliant. But today's video, smash a like on the video if you would like to see this animation applied to the future Dragon Ball Super. I'm talking about the manga, Moro arc, Granola arc, and even the events that happen after the superhero events with the training on Beerus' planet between Gohan, Beast and Broly and Ultra Instinct Goku. But today's video is about the potential for Fusion in episode 20, the final episode of Dragon Ball Daima, to take down Gomah with the third eye. Now, Super Saiyan 4 Fusion isn't something we've not seen before. We did see it in Dragon Ball GT. If Daima's been anything to go by, something that happened in GT is something that certainly cannot be ruled out. Obviously, there's only one episode left, so they're going to have to cram a lot into one episode, but they did introduce a new form of fusion earlier in the series. So ever since Dragon Ball Z's Buu arc, we had Metamaran Fusion, which is also known as the Finger Dance Fusion, and then we also have Potara Fusion using the Supreme Kai's earrings to fuse. Now, both of those types of fusion likely include magic, but ultimately, the Demon Realm's fusion bugs are likely going to contain magic as well. Will they be the same power as Potara and Metamaran Fusion? Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section. So obviously we saw Goku drop the pouch in which his fusion bugs were contained, but it's likely that they're going to be found and used for a fusion. Now, I know some people are thinking that it's going to be Glorio and Goku fusing. Well, I certainly wouldn't rule that out either. But obviously, the most powerful fusion on the cards is Goku and Vegeta. Again, they are the two most powerful warriors currently in the Demon Realm. Goku can now use Super Saiyan 4, albeit it could be because he still has access to some of the magic that Neva gave him in episode 18, but Vegeta can also transform into a Super Saiyan 3, so we could very well get Super Saiyan 3 Fusion, something that the fandom's wanted for a long time, or by Goku being able to go into the Super Saiyan 4 transformation, a fusion with Vegeta should therefore be able to do it as well, as the fusion contains the abilities of both warriors. Now, obviously, GT isn't the only place we've seen a Super Saiyan 4 fusion. Dragon Ball Heroes is the other place that we've seen a Super Saiyan 4 fusion. And obviously, Daima also takes a lot of inspiration from Heroes. That's not necessarily a bad thing though, guys. Heroes had a lot of great ideas, especially in terms of the verse that it created. It just wasn't delivered or executed very well. In fact, it was hardly executed at all. But the question is, will Super Saiyan 4 alone be able to defeat Gomah? I'm talking about Goku for now, on his own with Super Saiyan 4. We do know that he is still a little bit tired from the previous fight, despite being turned back into an adult again, as he stated that to Piccolo right before going back into the fight and going through that amazing transformation sequence. And just before I continue, Dragon Ball Super did transformations really badly. It wasn't until the Broly movie came back about where the producers seemed to go in a different direction and making the transformations look great again. Daima has been excellent. The animation team for Daima, as much as I've criticised Daima, especially in terms of the storytelling and the plot, the animation is by far the best I've seen in any Dragon Ball product. Utterly insane. Imagine if Super got this animation going forward with the Moro Granola and end of the superhero arc. So I'm detracting a little bit. Gomah with the third eye transformation is a bit of a strange one. Obviously, the warriors can't exactly tell his power level because he doesn't use traditional ki. He uses magic from the third eye, which is said to have unparalleled power, and ultimately, we've already seen Kid Goku get defeated by the third eye. The third eye literally just used some magic ability to de-transform Goku, and like what I've said in a previous video, was a holy shit moment. It is that damn powerful. That is something you would expect from the Grand Priest. I'm not saying it's as powerful as the Grand Priest, obviously, but ultimately, if you go back to the Tournament of Power, when the Grand Priest took the flying ability away from all the warriors in the Tournament of Power, that is probably better than what the Grand Priest did in terms of taking away their abilities. Ultimately, for some reason, Gomah is basically allowing Vegeta and Goku, well, Vegeta mainly in episode 19, to fight him in base. Now, I know some people will jump straight to the conclusion, especially those Dragon Ball YouTube power scalers from 2019 who cannot evolve, will probably say, well, that means that base Vegeta is Super Saiyan 4 Kid Goku level. You're scaling it all wrong. This video isn't necessarily about that. But ultimately, Gomah is clearly just not fighting Vegeta at full power at that point. And this is proven by the fact that when Vegeta decides to go up the gears, up the Super Saiyan states, that Gomah, within instances, can literally then match that power again. And as we've seen for the preview for episode 20, we know that he's knocking Goku with an adult Super Saiyan 4 form back. So obviously Gomah has bad intentions, but I wouldn't say he's the most evil villain we've come across in terms of what he intends to do. He just wants to rule, really. He's a bit of a clown, he's a bit of a jester. I think that's enhanced by the way he looks, but he hasn't come across as truly villainous or evil. He's not as evil as Frieza, he doesn't have that evil instinct of Kid Buu, and he's not like Zamasu. Zamasu was incredibly evil. So basically it seems like the third eye is only amping Gomah to the level of power that's needed to actually fight the opponent that he's currently fighting at that time. Now, does that mean Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta as an adult stronger than Kid Super Saiyan 4 Goku? Let me know your thoughts on that down in the comment section. I definitely want to hear what you've got to say about that, and we'll discuss this in another video. This video is mostly about the fusion that is likely to come within the next week or so. So Gomah is literally just fighting at the level that's required. Goku can go Super Saiyan 4. We've seen the preview that he can fight against the Super Saiyan 4. So Goku's probably going to burn out soon too, because we know that he was struggling beforehand and that he's lost a lot of energy, even though he has more than Vegeta currently. The biggest trump card they have is Fusion. Now they do have Potara Fusion there. The Supreme Kai has his earrings on, so I don't really know why it's not come up as an option really. But remember, at that point in time, Shin, the Supreme Kai, believes that Potara Fusion is permanent unless they go inside Buu. So that could be it. Obviously, they could always talk about going inside Buu again, but ultimately, it should be on the table, especially if they think they're all going to die, and Bulma's there as well. And guys, how good was that moment? That might have actually been the best moment in that episode, when Bulma called down Vegeta, said, "You're not getting this booty anymore unless you come out of this fight." And Vegeta went straight away and just passed on the baton. That was gold. That was absolute gold. Smash a like on this video if you thought that was gold. Actually, the more I think about it, that may have been one of the greatest moments in Dragon Ball history. Toriyama, you've done it again. So anyway, in terms of getting the power of this fusion, Fusion has drastically changed from the way it was portrayed in Dragon Ball Z to how it's portrayed in Dragon Ball Super. I even think it was retconned in Dragon Ball Super, and I'm usually somebody who is against something being retconned. I try and look for a different interpretation of the events before and work it out from there, and just assume that I had the wrong interpretation in the first place. What used to happen with Fusion was Potara Fusion, according to Super Exciting Guys, was A times B. Can you remember that? If you do, then you've been in the fandom a long time, which is insanely powerful, and Metamoran Fusion was stated to be dozens of times. However, if you knew more of the literature, you would have seen little instances where Metamoran Fusion was actually compared to Potara Fusion. Unfortunately, due to the lack of information we had on these two fusions at the time, it was hard to really get a gauge on where they were at, but the A times B from the Super Exciting Guides seemed legitimate, especially as we knew it was supervised by Toriyama himself. But I do not think that's the case in Super. I think in Super, it was retconned for both fusions to be the same level of power, which to me makes sense. I don't know why people have so much of an issue with it. I know some people prefer one fusion over the other. Let me know which fusion you prefer down in the comment section. Do you prefer Vegito or Gogeta? But ultimately, it seems that both base fusions are stronger than Goku and Vegeta in their strongest forms, and then they can stack transformations on top. So Fusion is still wildly powerful. The two mainstream fusions that we saw in Z, base Gotenks was stronger than Super Saiyan Trunks and Super Saiyan Goten, and then base Vegito was stronger than Super Saiyan 3 Goku in the Buu arc. Base Fusion is stronger than Super Saiyan Blue Goku. Mostly in the manga, you can see that base Vegito blows Merge Zamasu's arm, who's just walloped Super Saiyan Blue Goku and Vegeta in quick succession. Obviously, the anime of Vegito Blue was really badly done, but it doesn't mean it weren't the case there. Then you go to Gogeta vs Broly. Base Fusion seems to be stronger than Super Saiyan Blue Goku and Vegeta fighting at the same time using power amping techniques like the Kamehameha and Gallic Gun. I know people love to go back to what was stated in the Battle of Gods anime, where Goku stated Fusion wouldn't be enough against Beerus, and the people implied that Super Saiyan God would be more powerful because of that. But Super Saiyan God wasn't powerful enough either. Goku would have had no idea how powerful Super Saiyan God was when he was saying that. And ultimately, we eventually saw in the Tournament of Power, when Kefla turned into base Kefla, she was more powerful than Super Saiyan God Goku. So if you do the maths on basically that one fight alone, it's obvious that even base Fusion is stronger than Super Saiyan God, even if the two fusees don't have Super Saiyan God themselves. And that was in the anime, so it actually retcons what Goku stated anyway. So the question is how powerful is Super Saiyan 4 over Super Saiyan 3? I really want to know your answers on this down in the comment section. A lot of people are stating it's 10 times. I don't really know where that number's coming from. It's possibly because the Uzaru transformation was a 10 times multiplier. And if I've seen anything in Daima, the way Daima's done Super Saiyan 4 or Super Saiyan Primal, it's not been given an official name yet. Obviously, we're calling it Super Saiyan 4 for now. I would like it to be called Super Saiyan Primal or something like that. I think it's a better name for it, but I'm just calling it Super Saiyan 4 until we get that official name. If Super Saiyan 4 is 10 times that of Super Saiyan 3, it does make more sense in Daima than it did in GT, simply because of the fact that Goku hasn't had to revert into an Uzaru golden state and then somehow make a way into a humanoid body. In this continuity, Goku is literally going straight from Super Saiyan 3 into Super Saiyan 4. That did not happen in Dragon Ball GT, and I've got to say, the transformation from Super Saiyan 3 to Super Saiyan 4 was incredible. Like I've said, the best animated transformation I've seen. Maybe Ultra Instinct Omen in episode 110 of Dragon Ball Super matches it, but that was more about the occasion rather than the animation of the scene. Let me know your thoughts on it down in the comment section. But a Super Saiyan 4 fusion, the base fusion obviously should, if it is to follow logic from previous fusions, be stronger than current adult Super Saiyan 4 Goku's level, or at least on par, and then he can stack the transformations on top. Even if it's only a 10 times multiplier over Super Saiyan 3, at a minimum, that would make it 4,000 times Super Saiyan 4 adult Goku currently. But it could be more than that. Some people have these multipliers as moving multipliers. Some people believe the Super Saiyan 2 transformations are 500 times multiplier, but they are mostly theories, so we'll stick to what's stated in the Super Exciting Guide for now, because that's at least a guaranteed low ball. But just to add on top of that, the primal-like state, the monkey-like state, is a stronger body than their regular humanoid state. So not only do they get a new fighting style in Daima, because that wasn't the case in Dragon Ball GT, Daima does the primal fighting style way better than GT did, and I'm not even criticising GT. You know what I think on this. GT had lots of good moments, surrounded by a load of shit, but I actually do like GT. But ultimately, Daima and its Super Saiyan 4 can fight in a primal way where he's literally running like a monkey across rocks, kind of like Sun Wukong, and it's excellent. I love it. But ultimately, he comes with a new fighting style as well as a hardened body, so perhaps the fusion will last longer due to the fact that the body can actually sustain this type of power better. And maybe, like I said in a previous video, if we get Super Saiyan 5 and it's like a primal UI version, then it'll be able to hold Ultra Instinct better if the Daima and Super continuities line up. But 4,000 times current Super Saiyan 4 Goku already would be incredibly powerful, and will even override the power that Gomah has with his third eye, which is stated to be unparalleled. You could argue, if you wanted to add a feat to it, that Goku with his Super Saiyan 4 form was affecting or shaking the 3 demon worlds in the demon realm, as we saw a small sequence. Let me know your thoughts on that down in the comment section, which is very reminiscent of him shaking the macrocosm in a Dragon Ball Z movie. But if you want to actually start thinking about how this would line up against a Dragon Ball Super character, I'm not sure it would quite compare to Tournament of Power onwards due to the multipliers and growth in base from that point. But even the Super Saiyan 4 individual right now could arguably be rendered stronger than a Super Saiyan 3 Goku in Battle of Gods, depending on how fast you think they grow in base in the time between Daima and the beginning of Battle of Gods. If it's more than 10 times, then sure. A fusion that's 4,000 times on top of that, you're getting some way into Dragon Ball Super. Stronger than Blue Fusion in Masu Arc? Well, probably not. But that is a form that is often compared to Beerus within the franchise and the wider franchise, so it's arguable that some characters really late past the Moro arc aren't even as strong as that. Anyway guys, Super Saiyan 4 Fusion will be broken. Imagine if they did it at the end of Super, it would be even more broken. I actually think we haven't seen the full power of the third eye yet. I think we'll see it in the final episode, but I do think Fusion will beat it in the end. And ultimately, I think the third eye could become more powerful if it has a more powerful host. But there is also that chance of the Fusion bugs. Will the Fusion bugs have the same level of power as Potara in Metaman Fusion? Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section, or do we think they'll actually make an even more powerful fusion? Or perhaps we could see a three-way fusion. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section. I look really forward to reading them. Smash a like on the video. All your help is truly supported. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Until next time, Ad Astra.